Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 8 of Season 4 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to our second restrictor plate race of the season. We are at Talladega, Alabama for the running of the Aaron's 499 at Talladega Superspeedway. This is going to be an exciting race because this is our second trip to a plate track, like I mentioned. And we've got an interesting crop of drivers in the top 10 in points, and let's take a look at how the top 10 in points look coming into this race. Jessie Setti, she has been the driver to watch so far this season. 2 wins this season, tied for the most top 3 or top 5s and the most top 10s this season. She leads the points by 25 points over Anthony McCrory. Third in points is Chase Oliver. Fourth is Sonny Hammond. Fifth is rookie Joshua Balkin. That is the top 5. The top 10, as far as the rest of them, are Eric and Rage, Charles Sanford, Danny Wells, rookie Chris Singer, and Kyle Matthews. Then the rest of the top 20, we have Jecko Knight, Austin Weiner, David Rivera, Kyle Singer, PJ Williams, Gabe Williams, Seth Cole, Jesse King, rookie Dorian Facepuncher, and rookie Mitchell Riggs. So that is how the top 20 look in the standings coming into this race. But without further ado, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Aaron's 499 at Talladega.
Imagine the dreams of a 13-year-old looking up at the sky, wondering how the world can be so cold. This kid wasn't sold it would be like this. At nighttime wishes to be safe from this abyss. Cause this shit is something that can be dismissed. A boy born as a girl who is going through the stress. He's got a shotgun up, but can't play for the team. His school won't let him even though it's his dream. Now he's sitting in bed with a loaded gun, thinking about blowing his brains out to kingdom come. Cause he's been bullied and teased all his life. Almost killed himself 2 years ago by slitting his wrist with a knife. I wonder if he sees the things I see for him. 10 years down the line, speaking at the forum. A college graduate up at the top of his class. The first trans NFL player up in the draft.
Well, there's a look at your lineup. Dorian Facepuncher on the pole with Dylan Young in second. This is going to be an interesting race here at Talladega. But we got to keep an eye out here going into turn 1 because sometimes the big one strikes in the first lap in the first turn. But here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. And already Dylan Young, Dorian Facepuncher get into each other. Oh man, can they save it? Dylan saved it and he somehow got the lead for a second, but Facepuncher's going to lose a lot of ground running on the apron, but now he's going to be able to come back up and blend in on the racetrack. So we got away with just the 2 cars get a little bit into each other going into turn 1. Although Facepuncher's going to lose a lot of ground, and already with a giant lead is Charles Sanford. He was the big winner out of all that. But that pack's going to start catching him here pretty soon. And Charles Sanford will lead us to lap number 1 here at Talladega. But now, like I thought, drivers coming in behind are coming in hot as now Ian Dutta goes to the lead. And Dylan Young was in a 4-wide battle, and he's still on the very high line of the racetrack. Oh man, I see drivers back there getting really into it. And oh, but there goes Zachary Fitzwater into Dylan Young. Jesse King gets involved, and we got a multiple car accident. I see Kendall Maynard got held up. Same with Preston Plord. Sonny Hammond got held up. I think I see damage on Kyle Matthews' machine. A lot of drivers got held up. As a result, Preston Plord got held up, but There's Joshua Michaels. I'm not too sure if he got damage. He might have on the side of the car, and indeed that is the case. Caution flag is out here at Talladega for the first time today on lap number 2. Going into lap number 3, and PJ Williams somehow has got the lead, and that is a driver to keep an eye out here in this race because he has won at this track. Well, no, he's not the leader. It's actually Ian Dutta. It was just them trying to get in line. Drivers are trying to come back through to get back in line, and I think the only car that sustained big time damage was Zachary Fitzwater, because I don't see him on the track. I think he might have already taken his car over the wall. But let's take a look at a replay to see what brought the caution out for the first time today at Talladega. Well, here's a look at it. They were 4 wide going down the backstretch, but Austin Weiner just doesn't give Zachary Fitzwater any room. They're just leaning on each other, and then when they're going into turn number 3 here, Austin comes up into Fitzwater, and Fitzwater gets up into Dylan Young, and then gets into Jesse King and Joshua Michaels. And somehow, some way, those cars did not, there wasn't more cars involved, although a couple cars got held up, Preston Blord and Kendall Maynor in particular. And then something else happened to Dylan Young up ahead. Oh, this must be when Kyle Matthews gets involved. As they were 4 wide, oh, he gets sideswiped by Jessica Sheldon and then gets a hit from Kyle Matthews. And that's what happened to Dylan as to how he got spinning right there. And then Jesse King's going to come in and plow him right in the back right there. And Zachary Fitzwater ends up somehow being the one that got the most damage. Oh, Joshua Michaels, yeah, there was the hit from Michaels into Young right there. And already I knew Zachary Fitzwater retired from the race because he wasn't out on track. But I wonder if any other people are retiring after this wreck. I don't know, but somehow this wasn't the big one. But it was enough to put a car out of the race and maybe more depending on the damage. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart at Talladega. Well, after that first caution, we have 2 cars officially out of the race, and they are Dylan Young and Zachary Fitzwater. So tough break for both of those guys, as they have had just struggling seasons so far this year. But Ian Dutta is your leader, second is PJ Williams, third is Dylan Thoreau, fourth is Charles Sanford, fifth is David Rivera, sixth is Justin Nichols, seventh is Chris Thomas, 8th is Danny Wells, 9th is Biggie Spencer, 10th is Jekko Knight. 11th is Brandon Nichols, 12th is Cody Lamas, 13th Jesse Setti, 14th Ken Thoreau, 15th Mitchell Riggs, 16th Trent Dunham, 17th Charles Jackson, 18th Chris Singer, 19th Michael Norman, 20th Dorian Facepuncher. 21st is James McLeod, 22nd is Joshua Balkin, 23rd Gabe Williams, 24th Matt McIntyre, 25th Rue McIntyre, 26th Seth Cole, 27th Chase Oliver, 28th Anthony McCrory, 29th Chris Washer, 30th Henrietta Fitzwater. 31st is Sonny Hammond, 32nd Preston Plord, 33rd is Kendall Maynor, 34th Kyle Singer, 35th Jessica Shelton, 36th Eric Enrage, 37th Austin Weiner, 38th is Kyle Matthews, 39th Jesse King, and then 40th, and the last car on the field is Joshua Michaels. So that is how the field will look coming to this restart. Now, as far as those guys in the back, Joshua Michaels may be up to speed. Jesse King, doubtful. Kyle Matthews, maybe, because we saw him have a tiny buckle on his hood at the Daytona 500 and had a good finish. We could see the same here today here at Talladega. But here we go. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing at Talladega on lap number 7 with 23 to go here at Talladega. And already cars are going double wide and even 3 wide and towards the back as they're trying to get some lines going already. And Ian Dudd is trying to get his second win for his career of Roush Fenway Racing. I believe, if I can think, either his third or fourth of his career. And he's got his teammate right behind him in Dylan Thoreau, so some draft help with teammates. Good strategy for those two, but for some cases, and really in most cases, here at Daytona and Talladega and other plate tracks, your friends are where you find them. And here, it was pretty much friends are where you find them as far as teammates, but now that battle got separated, as here comes Charles Sanford down low with help from Biggie Spencer. As I'm looking around the middle of the pack, they got separated a little bit. I don't know why, but they're still all within each other, which is good. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Ian Dutta continues to lead, but Charles Sanford trying to make a run, but here comes Biggie Spencer in the 83 for Red Bull Racing. As I'm looking back here, Joshua Michaels is not up to speed, and Jesse King is totally not up to speed. Kyle Matthews, I don't think he's completely up to speed. So that's the look at that. But now battle for the lead as Biggie Spencer led that lap. And he's going to get the spot now by going low. Meanwhile, we got battle for second as PJ Williams is going to go back there. And meanwhile, it was 4 wide for a second, and now it settles out to 3 wide. But then again, you can go 4 wide and make it work, just as long as you don't lean on each other, then it's fine. But meanwhile, Biggie Spencer, he's trying to go for his first Walmart Cup Series victory, and this season so far is looking just like how it was last season, starting off good and then struggling. But this is right now a bright spot for him as he's running up at the front. Meanwhile, they are 4 wide back there, but it settles to 3 wide. And look at PJ Williams. He's having a great run going right now here at Talladega. And this is one of those guys, when it comes to races here at Talladega or any plate track for that matter, that you have to keep an eye on, because he has won many of his wins in the Walmart Cup Series. I think, if I can recall, he has 3 Walmart Cup wins. 2 of them came at plate tracks. One of them was in this race 2 seasons ago, and the other one was at M&Ms. Biggie Spencer still leads, but here comes Chris Thomas, and remember, Chris Thomas had a very good finish in the Daytona 500 earlier, finishing in the top 5, and here he is running up here in the top 5 right now. Meanwhile, I do see 4 wide racing back there, but plenty of room is being given. Dorian face puncher Dylan Thoreau, Seth Cole in another car, I can't really tell. Could be, it was Brandon Nichols, but it settles to 3 wide. Meanwhile, back up at the front, we got a new leader, and that's Anthony McCrory. Biggie Spencer got forced up high, and he's going to lose some spots, but Anthony McCrory, he has not yet won a Walmart Cup Series race. Last season, he had a somewhat struggling rookie season. So far this season, he's been very, very consistent. He comes into this race second in the point standings, with solid finishes coming into this race. I see 2 rows back there of 4 wide, but they are keeping it together. And from what I can tell, let me go back around. Oh, and we got a wreck! Oh my goodness, and Ken Thoreau goes upside down, and Cody Lamas is involved. Oh, and I saw Justin Nichols get hit. Biggie Spencer got caught up in it. Kyle Singer, oh! Oh my God. That was... oh my word. Justin Nichols got clobbered in the driver's door, I believe. Ian Dutta was caught up in there. Dorian face puncher. Man, it's just like this guy just can't seem to catch a break after his finish at Rockingham, UK. He's just not been able to get a top 10 finish. And it looks like that struggle will continue. Ken Thoreau, I saw he went upside down. There is what is left of Justin Nichols' car. Kyle Singer was the one who hit him. And I'm sure there are others I don't know about. Jessica Sheldon's got damaged. That might have been... Oh, and they are stacking up and wrecking. I saw Biggie Spencer. There's damage on Chris Washer's car. Eric and Rage was caught up in that mess. Cody Lamas, I saw he was the one who got turned. And I don't see any other cars damaged. Some are electing the pits, some are staying out. And it looks like the leader is going to be Charles Sanford going to the restart. But let's take a look and see what brought the caution out as the big one that struck here at Talladega. Well, they were 4 wide back here, and it looks like it's going to be the same thing that happened in the first caution. This is teammates. Dutta's going to come up in front of Ken, throw up into Biggie Spencer. Spencer's just going to shove the 99 to force him upside down. And I see Chris Singer got a piece of that. And then Trent and Singer get into each other. And then there's where Justin Nichols gets involved. Henrietta Fitzwater actually got damaged, but we have got to take a look at how this happens with the 23. Driver's side exposed, hard hit by Kyle Singer, forcing the 23 to go wildly flipping through turns 3 and 4. And then flips down to banking. And then he's going to get a hit right there from Dorian Face Puncher. That's going to force him back onto all 4 tires. But man, that was just a hard hit. Now, how did Dorian Face Puncher end up getting involved? Oh, this was for reminiscence of that contact up there with Dutta and Thoreau. As yeah, they just did not give each other enough room. And Lamas gets turned, and the 15 got into the 99, and that forced him to spin. Jekko Knight actually was involved. He actually spun, but I think he's still going to be good to go to the finish. And then Dorian Face Puncher, he has it saved, goes back straight, and then he's going to get Justin Nichols right there. But man, oh man. We're actually going to go on a couple of onboards. We're going to go on board with the 99, the 11, and the 23. On board with Ken Thoreau. And there's the rubbing with him and Dutta and the contact. As he flipped over once, and then he just kept getting hit. Right there, that side swipe from Kyle Singer ended the job right there. On board with Kyle Singer, who was running in the back, and there's the smoke from the wreck already happening. Now let's look at how fast he's going. Wow, he was going fast until the side swipe, and then he fell to 160, but that was still a hard hit. Finally on board with Justin Nichols. This is going to be wild. As he did a good job getting by, and then he gets into Ken right there. And watch this hit. Man, oh man. Well, after that last caution, we have more cars out of the race, and they are Jessica Sheldon. And I'm not sure what happened. I am assuming that it was all a result of a stack up when they were slowing down, and she ended up getting damaged in that. Eric and Rage, Dorian Face Puncher, Ken Thoreau, Ian Dutta, Justin Nichols, and Kyle Singer. Those are the cars who ended up out. Not nearly as much cars out of the race as I thought, and we still got 33 left on the track. But Charles Sanford is your leader, second is Sonny Hammond, third is Preston Lord, fourth is Seth Cole, fifth is David Rivera. Sixth is PJ Williams, seventh is James McLeod, eighth is Cody Lamas, even after getting involved, he's up in the top 10. Ninth is Anthony McCreary, 10th is Chris Washer. 11th is Dylan Thoreau, 12th is Chris Thomas, 13th is Mitchell Riggs, 14th is Rue McIntyre, 15th is Matt McIntyre, 16th Charles Jackson, 17th Joshua Balkin, 18th Danny Wells, 19th Kendall Maynor, 20th Gabe Williams. 21st is Brandon Nichols, 22nd is Austin Weiner, 23rd is Jesse Setti, 24th Trent Dunham, 25th Chase Oliver, 26th Kyle Matthews, 27th Joshua Michaels, 28th Jesse King, 29th is Jecko Knight, 30th is Michael Norman. And I assume he and Sheldon were the ones who were involved in the stack up. 31st is Henrietta Fitzwater, 32nd is Chris Singer, and 33rd is Biggie Spencer. And that is all the cars that are left on track after 2 cautions. Well, that last caution would be considered a big one. It wasn't that many cars involved like I thought. It was still the big one. So there may be the huge one. It could happen at any moment. But here we go. Green flag is back out with 13 to go here at Talladega. So we are getting closer and closer to the finish of this race. Charles Sanford up in the front. He's trying to go for his second career Walmart Cup Series victory. The win he had last season was during the chase. I believe it was the 3rd race in the chase where he won at Spartan. Right now he's up at the front here at Talladega. But as I'm looking around to see if anything's happened, and so far nothing, which is good. Charles Sanford there, and here comes Preston Lord for second. And wait a minute, these guys are coming into the pits. This could be strategy in case if a caution comes out, but I don't know about that strategy, and now that definitely gives the lead, definitely to Charles Sanford, and he's got a big lead between himself and now second place David Rivera, and look who's in third, a driver who is definitely hungry for redemption here at this track, because it was this race a year ago, or a season ago, where he was leading on the last lap, came and pitted on the last lap and lost the race. Rue McIntyre, and here he comes underneath for second as that pack's catching the 20 of Charles Sanford. But now here comes Sanford and Rivera into the pits. I believe those are it of the cars who did not pit during the last caution. So now that hands the lead over to Rue McIntyre. Well, maybe not the way he wants to get the lead, but he's got the lead. But now here comes rookie Joshua Balkin. There's Washer coming out of the pits. Hope we don't end up with something that happened in Daytona where cars come back up right in front of the leaders and cause a big crash. There's James McLeod and PJ Williams among others, but looks like everything's pretty much fine with these drivers, and none of them have gotten into anybody, so this is all good. But that could be strategy in case of a caution comes out, or if these cars back here who are up at the front have to pit again. But now they've caught some of those slower cars, and now it's going to be 3 wide for the lead because Charles Jackson's there with Balkin. But here comes Rue McIntyre down low. This is interesting strategy for those cars who came and pitted. But it may not have been a good strategy. And look at this draft team. These are 2 very good friends working together. Rue McIntyre, Chris Thomas, but now Thomas, he did go up for a second. Now he's going to come back into the bottom in the draft behind the 28. And Seth Cole and McLeod, those are two lapped machines or tail end cars. And now it's going to be three wide, two of them bound for the lead, and it's going to be Chris Thomas. Did he lead that lap, or was it the 28? No, it was the 28, but the 14 of Thomas, he's got that low line and he's got a bumper on him. And now he might be able to get by. But I see Matt McIntyre, Danny Wells, Dylan Thoreau up here, Gabe Williams, Mitchell Riggs, Charles Jackson, Kendall Maynor up here in this pack. And Joshua Balkin, those are the cars who are on the lead lap in this pack. And Austin Weiner's even approaching as well. This big pack, when about at least 3 or 4 of them are lap down machines. And Chris Thomas, I think he is going to lead that lap. And indeed he did. Drew McIntyre tried to get some going up high, but it didn't really work. Mitchell Riggs, he's now going to go to second. As up ahead, there's a 4-car tandem of cars who were up at the front but came and pitted. Sonny Hammond, Charles Sanford, Preston Ford, and David Rivera. They are going to have to hope for a caution to come out here at some point before they get to lap number 25. So that way they can get back to green and hope to get something out of this pit strategy, unless those guys behind them do end up having to pit. And now we're back up to this big pack. And now we've got a new leader, and that's Charles Jackson. And Charles Jackson's no stranger to victory lane at Talladega. In fact, his only related victory in Walmart Cup competition was the Chase LCQ race here in Season 2, but he has still not yet won a points race in Walmart Cup competition. This could be his day, as he's running up at the front. Kendall Maynor, who won 2 races last season in the 20 car and his move to Roush, started off not so swell, but here he is up here in the second spot, hoping to maybe get something out of this. And then the two behind them are lap machines of Seth Cole and James McLeod. So the guy in third is right now Chris Thomas. In fact, the drivers who are lapped down are Seth Cole, James McLeod, PJ Williams, Anthony McCrory, Chris Washer, and Cody Lamas. So 6 cars are lapped down from pitting, and at least 3 of them, Cole, McLeod, and Williams, are up in this lead pack. And right now, Charles Jackson still holds on to the lead, and when we come to the stripe, it's 5 to go here at Talladega. So we are definitely getting closer to the end of this race. Meanwhile, still up ahead is that 4-car tandem, and they've shuffled a little bit. Sanford has actually gotten by Hammond and Plord, although I think those guys may catch Joshua Michaels, and that can cause a shakeup if they catch Michaels. And Michaels, he's only going up to 170, so I think those 4 behind him are going to catch him here in just a minute. And here they come, and then those leaders are going to catch them up, and that's going to make this pack bigger, or it's going to separate the pack. And oh my goodness, those leaders are coming in quick, as they will end up having to contend with Michaels, if at all. And Jackson goes by, but who's going to get held up is the question. It looks like the closest one would be Balkin and Gabe Williams. And it is Gabe Williams who's getting held up right now. And now Danny Wells is going to get held up as well. Oh man, and now Austin Weiner's getting held up, and now he's going to move up high. But now Michaels, he tried to move up high, but he's still in the middle, blocking the middle groove. So Gabe Williams gets, and now he's going to come down and block Austin Weiner. And that's going to help for room for Trent Dunham, Jekko Knight and Jesse Setti to come in, but they got the lap car of Anthony McCurry and Austin Weiner. He's getting held up bad. Oh man, they are 4 wide up ahead, and I see leaning, and they keep it together. That could have been a bad wreck right there up at the front, and right now it is Mitchell Riggs up in the lead. But now that he opens up the bottom lane for Matt McIntyre and Rue McIntyre to come in, oh man. Checking the helicopter camera, oh man. Don't get into each other, do not get into each other. Oh, they let go, wow. That was a close call. But Rue McIntyre goes back up to the lead. Rue McIntyre, he is definitely trying to get redemption. And when we come to the stripe, it's 2 to go here at Talladega, and it is 2 laps to go. And Rue's getting help from the lap machine of David Rivera, who is fast, and he's going to come and block Joshua Balkin, which is what the 28 wanted. But remember, Roush Fenway has a great working relationship with Wood Brothers Yates Racing. But now here comes Balkin down low underneath of the 6. But the 28, he's going to come in down and block him. The driver who would be in 3rd at the moment would be Chris Thomas. But here we go, we're getting ready to come to the white flag, and the white flag is going to be out for Rue McIntyre. So far this season, it's been a struggle, and he's coming back for redemption here at Talladega, and the white flag is out. So far, Rue's somewhat in good hands, as Balkin, who's in 2nd, is up in the high line, and Chris Thomas is coming in for 2nd. 4 wide underneath 2 lap machines of Plord and McLeod, both running target cars but in reverse style. As I'm checking out the helicopter camera, and it's 4 wide, but they're not leaning, and I think Rue McIntyre may have it. But let's see if he's coming in pit, and no, he isn't. Oh man, but there's Jesse King. That may be a problem, though we'll see. Rue McIntyre's coming in hot. And oh no, he is going to get held up, but is he going to make it to the finish line? And he does! Rue McIntyre redeems himself from last season at Talladega, and he's going to get his 2nd career Cup Series win, and he gets it at Talladega. Close call, he about got screwed over by Jesse King, but he somehow managed to get by and hold on, and he got the victory. What a redemption story for Rue McIntyre here at Talladega. This race a season ago led on the last lap and had to come and pit because he didn't have enough fuel. This season led in the end and kept it. But what a race. But let's take a look and see how the results came about. Rue McIntyre gets his 2nd career Walmart Cup Series victory and redeems himself here at Talladega after what happened in this race a season ago. 2nd was his good friend Chris Thomas, so how about that? Two really good friends. Rue McIntyre, Chris Thomas finished 1st and 2nd here at Talladega, and Chris Thomas, solid performance of 2nd. This could move him higher up in the point standings. Charles Jackson, solid finish of 3rd. Joshua Balkin, the 2nd highest finishing rookie. This can move him up a little bit higher in the point standings. And rookie Mitchell Riggs, solid top 5 finish. Mitchell Riggs, he's just getting better and better and better and better every week. That can move him up closer to the top 10 in points. Kendall Maynard, solid finish of 6th. Matt McIntyre gets a much-needed good finish of 7th. Dylan Thoreau, solid 8th place finish. Gabe Williams gets a good run of 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Danny Wells. Rest of the top 20 was Jesse Setti, so Jesse Setti looks like she will keep the points lead. Trent Dunham, Jekko Knight, Austin Weiner, Kyle Matthews, Brandon Nichols, Chris Singer, Biggie Spencer, Chase Oliver, Henrietta Fitzwater. And then the last 2 cars that finished on the lead lap were Michael Norman and Jesse King, and drivers from 23rd back to 33rd finished a lap down. James McLeod, Preston Blord, Charles Sanford, Seth Cole, David Rivera, Sonny Hammond, P.J. Williams, Anthony McCrory, Joshua Michaels, Chris Washer, and Cody Lamas. Everybody else was out of the race after their respective accidents. Jessica Shelton, Eric and Rage, Dorian Facepuncher, Ken Thoreau, Ian Dutta, Justin Nichols, Kyle Singer, Dylan Young, and Zachary Fitzwater. But that does it for our coverage today here at Talladega. Thank you guys for watching. The next race we head to, as I'm going to check the schedule again, we head back to mile and a half racing as we go to the mile and a half of Kentucky. And until then, here are your results, rookie points and regular points. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off.
When the police be on the silver screen, become a movie star or be a pro racer and drive fast cars. It don't matter the age, it don't matter the color, it don't matter the gender or who you love. If you got it in your heart, then go ahead and do it. If you have a gift, then please go ahead and use it. Cause I was feeling stupid while trying to do music, thinking that they had no voice and that I was useless. But as I write this down, I can see what I mean. Nobody ever will stop me from achieving my dreams.